Have you ever noticed someone who seems to be in the same place at the same time every single day? Someone you don't know, but somehow they slowly become a quiet part of your life? Maybe you don't speak to them. Maybe you don't even know their name. But one day, if they suddenly disappear, you feel it. You feel that something is missing. This is a story about a woman like that, an old woman who sat on the same bench every evening, no matter the weather, no matter the season, she was always there. At first, no one really noticed her. The park was not a special place, it was just a small park in a quiet neighborhood. There were a few trees, some old wooden benches, and a narrow walking path that curved gently around a pond. In the mornings, people walked their dogs. In the afternoons, children ran and laughed. But in the evenings, the park became something else, slower, quieter, softer. The light turned golden, then slowly faded into blue. And that was when she always appeared. She would walk slowly, carefully, as if every step was something she had to think about. Her hair was white, soft and thin, moving gently with the wind. She wore simple clothes, nothing bright, nothing new, a long gray coat, a pair of worn shoes, and in her hands, she always carried a small bag. No one knew what was inside. No one ever asked. She would walk to the same bench, near the pond, not the closest one to the entrance, not the one under the biggest tree, but a quiet bench, slightly hidden, as if it was waiting just for her. And then she would sit down, slowly, carefully, as if she had done it 1,000 times before, because she had. At first, people didn't pay attention. A park is a place where people come and go. Faces change every day. Stories pass by without stopping. But some people, they stay. There was a young man who began to notice her, not on the first day, not even the second. But after a week, something felt familiar. He worked nearby. Every evening, after a long day, he walked through the park on his way home. He wasn't looking for anything, just a quiet moment before returning to his small apartment. The first time he really saw her, she was already sitting there, looking at the pond, not moving, not speaking, just watching. He thought, maybe she was waiting for someone. It made sense. People wait in parks all the time, for friends, for family, for someone they love. So he didn't think much about it. But the next day, she was there again. Same bench, same time, same quiet presence. And the day after that, again. At first, it was just a small thought, a passing curiosity. But slowly, it became something more. He began to look for her without realizing it. As he entered the park, his eyes would move, almost automatically, toward that bench. And every time, she was there, sitting, waiting, watching. Sometimes, the wind was strong. Leaves moved across the ground. The air felt cold, but she was still there. Other evenings, the sky was heavy with rain. People hurried home. The park became empty, but not her. She sat there, as if the weather did not matter at all. One evening, he slowed down. Just a little, not enough to stop, but enough to look at her more carefully. Her face was calm, not sad, not happy, just still. There was something about the way she looked at the pond, as if she wasn't really seeing it, as if she was looking at something far away, something no one else could see. He wondered what she was thinking about. He wondered who she was waiting for. Days passed, then weeks, and the question stayed in his mind. Why does she come here every evening? Why that bench? Why that time? One evening, something was different. The sky was darker than usual. Clouds covered the last light of the sun. The air felt heavy, quiet, almost too quiet. As he walked into the park, he looked toward the bench, and of course, she was there. But this time, she wasn't looking at the pond. She was looking at him. Their eyes met for the first time, just for a moment. But it was enough to make him stop. Not completely, just a step slower, then another. He didn't know why. He didn't plan to, but something inside him said, "This moment matters." She didn't smile. She didn't speak. But her eyes, they were not empty. They were full of something quiet, something deep, something that felt like a story. And suddenly, he realized something strange. He had seen her every day. He had wondered about her. He had created small stories in his mind. But he had never asked the simplest question: who is she? And why? Does she keep coming back? That evening, as the wind moved softly through the trees, as the light slowly disappeared, he made a quiet decision. Tomorrow, he would stop. Tomorrow, he would speak. Just one word. Just one question. Anything. Because somehow, he felt that if he didn't, he might never know the story behind the woman who sat on the same bench every evening. And some stories, once they are gone, they never come back. The next evening, he arrived earlier than usual. Not much earlier, just enough to feel the difference. The light was still soft, but the sky had not yet turned gold. The park felt quieter, like it was still waiting for the evening to begin. He walked more slowly than before, not because he was tired, but because he was thinking about her, thinking about what he would say, or if he would say anything at all. Sometimes, it is easier to wonder about someone from a distance, because in your mind, you can create any story you want. But when you step closer, the truth becomes real, and real things are not always simple. He saw the bench before he saw her, empty. For a moment, his heart felt something strange, a small drop, a quiet disappointment he did not expect. Maybe she wouldn't come today. Maybe yesterday meant nothing to her. Maybe he had imagined that moment. He stood there, just for a second longer than usual. Then, he took a breath and kept walking. But just as he passed the old tree near the path, he saw her. She was walking slowly toward the bench, just like always. The same careful steps, the same small bag in her hands, and suddenly, everything felt normal again. He didn't know why that feeling came so quickly, but it did. He slowed down. This time, not by accident. He watched her reach the bench, watched her turn slightly, as if checking something invisible. Then slowly, she sat down, the same way, the same movement, as if time had repeated itself. He stood there, a few steps away, not too close, not too far, and for a moment, he did nothing, because now that he was here, he didn't know how to begin. What do you say to someone you don't know, but have seen every day? Hello? Excuse me? Why do you come here? No, that felt wrong. Too direct, too sudden. So he just stood there, quietly. The wind moved gently through the trees. The pond reflected a soft, fading light, and the world felt slower. She did not look at him this time. Her eyes were on the water again, but something felt different, as if she knew he was there. As if she was waiting, without turning. He took a step closer, then another, until he was standing right beside the bench. Still, he said nothing. And then, without looking at him, she spoke. You came earlier today. Her voice was soft, calm, not surprised, not questioning, just certain. He blinked, a little confused. I, yes, he said quietly. I finished work earlier. It wasn't a lie, but it wasn't the full truth either. She nodded slightly, still looking at the pond. It's good to come early sometimes, she said. The light stays longer. He followed her gaze. The water was still, reflecting the sky that was slowly changing colors. He didn't know why, but her words made sense, more than they should. Yes, he said, it's peaceful. There was a small silence, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was the kind of silence that feels complete. Then she moved her hand slightly, a small gesture, toward the empty space next to her. You can sit, she said. Simple, natural, as if she had always known this moment would come. He hesitated just for a second. Then he sat down, carefully, not too close, not too far. The bench felt old, but steady, like it had held many quiet stories. For a while, they both said nothing, just sitting, just looking, just being there. And strangely, that felt enough. After a few minutes, he spoke. I see you here every day. As soon as the words left his mouth, he wondered if they sounded strange. But she didn't react that way. She nodded again. Yes, she said. I come every evening. Her voice was steady, like a fact, not something to explain. Why? He asked, then quickly added, I mean, if you don't mind? She was quiet for a moment, not avoiding the question, just taking her time. Then she opened her small bag, slowly, carefully, as if what was inside was something important. From the bag, she took out a small object, wrapped in cloth, worn, but protected. She held it in her hands for a moment before unwrapping it. Inside was a photograph, old, faded. The edges were soft, like it had been touched many times. She looked at it for a long moment. Then she handed it to him, gently. He took it carefully, as if it might break. In the photograph, there were two people, a younger version of her, and a man. They were sitting on a bench, the same bench, right here. Both of them were smiling, not for the camera, but at each other. A real smile, the kind that comes from something deep. He looked closer. The background was the same pond, the same trees, just younger, full of life. This was many years ago, she said softly. Her voice changed slightly, not sad, but full. He used to meet me here every evening. He looked at her, and then back at the photo. He? He asked quietly. She nodded. My husband. The words stayed in the air for a moment, simple but heavy. He liked this place, she continued. He said it was where time moved slowly enough for people to feel it. The young man listened, without interrupting, without thinking about what to say next, because suddenly he understood. Not everything, but enough. So you come here, he said slowly. To remember him? She smiled, a small smile, gentle. No, she said, not just to remember. She looked at the pond again. The light was fading now, turning soft and quiet. I come here, she said, because this is where he promised me something. He felt something shift inside him, and a quiet curiosity, stronger than before. What did he promise? He asked. She didn't answer immediately. Her eyes stayed on the water, as if the answer was not something simple, as if it lived somewhere between the past and the present, and then very softly. She said, "He promised that even if one day he could not come anymore." She paused, just for a breath. "I should still come." The wind moved gently. The trees whispered. And in that moment, the park felt different again, not just quiet, but meaningful. The young man looked at her, really looked this time, not as a stranger, but as someone carrying a story, a long one, a deep one. And suddenly, he realized something. This was not just a habit, not just a routine, not just an old woman sitting on a bench. This was a promise. And promises, even quiet ones, can last a lifetime. He looked down at the photograph again. Then, carefully, he gave it back to her. She wrapped it slowly, placed it back in her bag, and held it gently, as if it was still alive. They sat there, in silence again. But this time, the silence felt different, full, connected, real. And as the last light of the day disappeared behind the trees, he understood something else. He had come to ask a question, a simple one. Why does she sit here every evening? But now, he had found an answer that was much bigger. And somehow, he felt that this story was only beginning. The evening grew darker, but neither of them moved. The lights around the park began to turn on, one by one. Soft yellow circles appeared along the path. The pond became quieter. The reflections faded, and the world felt smaller, more intimate, more still. The young man sat beside her, but his thoughts were no longer the same. Before, he'd been curious. Now, he felt something deeper. Respect, a quiet kind of understanding. He didn't fully know her story, not yet, but he could feel its weight, not heavy in a painful way, but deep, like something that had lived for a long time. He looked at his hands, then at the ground, then slowly. He spoke again. "Do you come? Every single day?" She nodded. "Yes, no matter what?" He wasn't sure why he asked, but the question felt important. She smiled slightly, a small, knowing smile. No matter what. Her voice was calm, certain, like something she had already tested many times. "What if it rains?" he asked. "I come." "What if you're tired?" "I come." "What if," he paused, "what if you don't feel like it?" This time, she turned her head slightly, not fully, just enough to look at him from the corner of her eye. "That is when I come the most," she said. Her answer stayed in the air. Simple, but strong. He didn't reply immediately, because something about that sentence felt bigger than it sounded. "That is when I come the most." He repeated it quietly in his mind, as if trying to understand what it really meant. They sat in silence again, but now, his silence was different. It was not empty. It was full of thought. After a while, she spoke again. "You don't just walk through the park," she said. "You look at things." He was surprised. "A little," he said. "I guess I do." She nodded. "That's why you noticed me." He smiled softly. "Maybe." Then he added, "Or maybe you wanted to be noticed." He didn't know why he said that, but it came naturally. She did not answer right away. Instead, she looked back at the pond. The surface was darker now, almost like a mirror that no longer reflected anything. After a long pause, she said, "No." Her voice was gentle. "I didn't come here to be seen." Another pause. "I came here to not disappear." The words were quiet, but they reached him more deeply than anything else she had said. He turned his head and looked at her. Really looked. Not just at her face, but at the way she sat, the way her hands rested on her bag, the way her shoulders carried something invisible. To not disappear, he repeated, almost like a whisper. She nodded. When someone you love is gone, she said, people think everything ends. Her voice was still calm, still steady, but now there was something inside it, something soft, something human. But it doesn't end, she continued. It changes. The young man listened, carefully. Every word felt important. At first, you feel the absence, she said. It's loud. It's everywhere. You wake up, and it's there. You eat, and it's there. You walk, and it follows you. She paused, took a slow breath. Then slowly, it becomes quieter. Not gone. Just quieter. The wind moved again. Cooler now, carrying the smell of evening. And one day, she said, you realize something. He waited, without speaking, without moving. You realize that if you stop remembering, if you stop showing up, if you stop keeping the small promises, then they really disappear. Her voice softened even more. So I come here. Every evening. Not because I am waiting, but because I am keeping something alive. The words settled between them, deep, quiet, true. The young man felt a strange feeling in his chest. Not sadness, not exactly. Something closer to recognition, as if a part of him understood this without knowing why. He thought about his own life, his routines, his habits, the things he did without thinking. And suddenly, they felt different, smaller, lighter, less meaningful. He looked at her again. You must have loved him very much, he said. She smiled. This time, a real smile. Not big, not bright, but full. Yes, she said, I still do. The way she said it, there was no past, no distance, no separation, just presence, as if love did not follow time, as if it stayed exactly where it was created. He didn't know what to say, so he didn't try. Sometimes, words are not needed. After a while, he asked another question, one that had been growing inside him. Do you ever feel lonely? He spoke carefully, not wanting to break the moment. She didn't seem offended or surprised. She thought for a moment, then said, yes. Simple, honest. But loneliness is not always a bad thing, she added. He looked at her, confused. It isn't? He asked. She shook her head gently. No. Loneliness, she said slowly, is where you learn what really matters. He listened, trying to understand. When everything is quiet, she continued, when no one is around, when there is nothing to distract you, you begin to see clearly who you are, what you feel, what you miss, and what you still have. The park was almost empty now. Only a few distant footsteps, a faint sound of wind, and their voices, soft, unrushed, real. He leaned back slightly on the bench, letting her words settle inside him. You think a lot, he said after a moment. She smiled again. When you sit in the same place every day, she said, you either think or you disappear. He laughed softly, a quiet laugh, not loud, but genuine. I think I've been disappearing, he said. The words surprised him as soon as he said them. And because they were true, more true than he expected, she looked at him now, fully, for the first time. Her eyes were kind, not judging, not analyzing, just seeing. Then maybe, she said, it's time for you to sit down. He smiled. I already am. She shook her head gently. Not just here. The meaning was clear. Sit down, in your life. Stop running. Stop pretending. Stop moving without feeling. The young man felt something shift, small, but real, as if a door had quietly opened inside him, And for the first time, he noticed it. The night had fully arrived now. The sky was dark, the park lights were steady, and the bench felt like a place outside of time. He didn't know how long they had been sitting there, but it didn't matter, because something had changed, not loudly, not suddenly, but gently, deeply. He looked at her again, this time, not as a stranger, not even as an old woman, but as someone who had learned something important, something he was only beginning to understand. "Will you be here tomorrow?" he asked, even though he already knew the answer. She smiled. Of course she did. "Yes," she said, "I will be here. Same time, same bench, same quiet promise." He nodded, and for the first time, he felt something new about tomorrow. Not routine, not automatic, but intentional, because now he had a reason to come back. And maybe, just maybe, he was not the only one keeping a promise anymore. The next day, he did not rush, not in the morning, not at work, not even in his thoughts. Something inside him had changed, just a little, but enough to slow him down. Usually, his days felt the same. Wake up, work, walk through the park, go home, sleep. A quiet cycle without much meaning. But today, there was something different. He found himself looking at the clock, not because he wanted the day to end, but because he was waiting for something, waiting for the evening, waiting for the bench, waiting for her. And as the hours passed, he noticed something else. He was paying attention to small things, things he had ignored before. The sound of footsteps in the hallway, the way sunlight moved across the floor, the quiet moments between conversations. It was as if he had been moving too fast for a long time. And now, he was finally slowing down enough to see. When the day ended, he didn't go straight home. He walked toward the park, calmly, without rushing, but with intention. The sky was soft again, light blue, with a hint of gold. The air was gentle, cool, but not cold. As he entered the park, he didn't look around immediately. Not this time. He already knew where he was going. His steps followed the path almost naturally, like he had walked it many times before. And when the bench came into view, she was already there, sitting, waiting. And just like always, he felt something warm in his chest, not excitement, not nervousness, something quieter, something steady. He walked toward her, this time, without hesitation. "You're here," he said softly. She smiled. "Of course." He sat down beside her, the same distance as before, comfortable, natural. They didn't speak immediately. They didn't need to. The silence between them was no longer empty. It was familiar. After a while, he said, "I thought about what you said." She nodded slightly. "About what?" He looked at the pond. The water was calm, reflecting the early evening light. "About not disappearing," he said, "and about sitting down." She listened, without interrupting. "I think I understand it a little," he continued, "but I'm not sure how to do it." That was the truth. Understanding something is one thing. Living it is another. She smiled gently. "You've already started," she said. He looked at her, confused. "I have?" She nodded. "You came back." The answer was simple, but it stayed with him, because it was true. He had come back, not by accident, not out of habit, but because he chose to. And maybe that was the first step. They sat quietly again. Then she reached into her bag, slowly, carefully. This time, she did not take out the photograph. Instead, she took out a small paper bag, old, folded at the top. She opened it gently. and inside, there were small pieces of bread. She held one in her hand. Then, she tossed it lightly toward the pond. A small movement, soft, unnoticed by most. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a ripple, a small movement in the water. And suddenly, a few fish appeared. Quiet, gentle. They moved toward the bread, slowly, carefully, as if they had done this many times before. He watched, curious. "You feed them every day?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes." "Why?" The question came naturally. She smiled slightly. "Because they expect me to." He laughed softly. "That's all?" She looked at him, and for a moment, her eyes held something deeper. "Is that not enough?" she asked. He paused, then smiled. "I guess it is." She threw another small piece. More ripples, more movement, more quiet life. "They were here even before I came," she said, "and they will be here after I'm gone." Her voice was calm, but her words carried something more. "But while I am here," she continued, "I can be part of their world." He looked at the water, at the fish, at the small circles spreading across the surface. Something about it felt peaceful, real. "You don't try to control things," he said. "You just show up." She nodded. "Yes, that is enough more often than people think." He leaned forward slightly, resting his arms on his knees, thinking. "So many things in life," he said slowly. "I try to fix them, to change them, to make them better." She listened. "But maybe," he continued, "I don't always need to do that." She smiled. "Sometimes, you just need to be there." The words were simple, but they felt right. He watched as she fed the fish again. Small pieces, slow movements, no rush, no pressure, just presence. After a while, he asked another question. "Did you always understand life this way?" She chuckled softly, a light sound, warm. "No," she said. "I learned slowly." "How?" he asked. She thought for a moment, then said, "By losing things." The answer was honest, clear, not dramatic, just true. "When you lose something important," she continued, "you begin to see what mattered and what didn't." He nodded. That made sense. "But you don't need to lose everything to learn that," she added. Her eyes met his again. "You can learn by listening. To yourself, to others, to quiet moments." The wind passed through the trees again, soft, gentle, almost like a voice. He closed his eyes for a moment, just to feel it, just to be there. And when he opened them, he realized something. For the first time in a long time, he was not thinking about tomorrow, not worrying about work, not planning anything. He was just here. And somehow, that felt enough. He looked at her again. "Thank you," he said. She tilted her head slightly. "For what?" He smiled. "For this." He didn't explain. He didn't need to. She understood, because she nodded, slowly, as if she had heard those words before, maybe from someone else, a long time ago. The sky grew darker. The lights became brighter. The world became quieter. And the bench felt like a small island in the middle of everything. Before he stood up, he asked one more question. "Will you always come here?" She looked at the pond, then at the sky, then back at him. "For as long as I can," she said. A simple answer, but it carried time inside it. He nodded. Then slowly, he stood up. But this time, he didn't feel like he was leaving something behind. He felt like he was carrying something with him, something small, but meaningful. As he walked away, He turned once, just for a moment. She was still there, sitting, calm, present, like a quiet anchor in a moving world. And for the first time, he understood something clearly. The bench was not just a place, it was a choice, a promise, a way of living. And tomorrow, he would come back again, not because he had to, but because now he wanted to. The next evening, he arrived even earlier, not because he was afraid of missing her, but because he had started to understand something important. Some moments in life are not meant to be rushed. They are meant to be entered slowly, gently, with awareness. The park was almost empty when he arrived. The sky was still bright, soft blue, stretching wide and calm. The trees moved lightly in the wind, and the bench waited, quiet, still, familiar. But today, she was not there yet. He stood still for a moment, looking at the empty space where she usually sat. And for the first time, he did not feel worried. He did not feel that small drop in his chest. Instead, he felt something else, patience. He walked slowly to the bench. Then, he sat down, alone. The wood felt the same, slightly rough, slightly warm from the afternoon sun. He placed his hands on his knees and looked at the pond, just like she always did. At first, it felt a little strange, was sitting there without her, without conversation, without her quiet presence. But then, something shifted. The silence was not empty, it was full. The sound of water, the movement of leaves, the distant echo of footsteps, all of it was there, waiting to be noticed. He took a slow breath, then another, and for a moment, he forgot about time. He forgot about waiting. He simply sat. Minutes passed, or maybe longer. He didn't check, because it didn't matter. And then, soft footsteps, slow, familiar. He turned his head, and there she was, walking toward him, the same careful steps, the same small bag, the same quiet presence. But today, something was slightly different. He couldn't explain it, but he felt it. She reached the bench, paused for a moment, then looked at him. "You came early," she said. He smiled. "So did you." She sat down beside him, slowly, carefully, just like always. For a while, they said nothing, just watching the pond, just sharing the moment. Then she spoke. "You sat here alone." It wasn't a question. It was a statement. He nodded. "Yes, and?" she asked softly. He thought for a moment, searching for the right words. "It felt different," he said. "How?" He looked at the water, trying to understand his own feeling. "At first, I thought I was waiting for you." He paused, then continued. "But then I realized I wasn't waiting anymore." She listened, quietly. I was just here," he said, "and that felt enough." She smiled, a gentle, knowing smile. "Yes," she said, "that is the beginning." He turned to her. "The beginning of what?" She looked at the pond, then at the sky, then back at him. "The beginning of being present." The words were soft, but clear. He nodded slowly, as if something inside him was starting to connect. After a while, she reached into her bag again, but this time, her movements were slower, more careful, as if each action carried weight. She took out the small paper bag, opened it, but instead of throwing the bread, she held it, still, looking at it. Then she handed it to him. "Today, you feed them," she said. He blinked, surprised. "Me?" She nodded. "Yes?" He hesitated, just for a moment, then took the bag. It felt light, but meaningful. He took a small piece of bread, looked at the water, then gently, through it, a small movement, just like hers. The bread touched the surface, and slowly, the fish appeared, moving quietly, gathering, responding. He watched, carefully. "It feels different when I do it," he said. She smiled. "Of course." "Why?" he asked. "Because now, you are part of it," she said. He looked at the fish again, at the ripples, at the quiet life in the water, and he understood. Watching is one thing, participating is another. He fed them again, slowly, without rushing, without thinking about doing it right, just doing it. After a while, he stopped and handed the bag back to her, but she didn't take it. "You keep it," she said. He looked at her, confused. "But this is yours." She shook her head gently. "It was mine," she said. "Now, it can be yours." He felt something shift again, deeper this time. "What do you mean?" he asked. She took a slow breath, then said, "One day, I will not be able to come here." Her voice was calm, not sad, not afraid, just accepting. "And when that day comes," she continued, "someone should still sit on this bench." He felt a quiet tension in his chest, not fear, but awareness. "Someone should still feed them," she said. "Someone should still be present." He looked at the bag in his hands, then at her. "You want me to—" he started. She nodded. "Yes." The word was simple, but it carried meaning, responsibility, connection, a quiet passing of something invisible. He didn't answer immediately, because this was not just about bread, not just about fish. It was about something more, a way of living, a promise, just like hers. After a long pause, he said softly, "I think I understand." She smiled, and this time, her smile felt lighter, as if something inside her had found peace. They sat together as the evening slowly faded. The sky turned darker, the lights turned on, and the park became quiet again. But this time, something was different. The bench no longer belonged only to her. It held both of them. And maybe it would hold more stories in the future. Before he left, he turned to her. "Will I see you tomorrow?" he asked. She looked at him, her eyes calm, kind, full of something that did not need words. "Maybe," she said. The answer was different, not certain, not fixed, but somehow it felt right. He nodded, not afraid of the answer, because now he understood something important. Presence does not depend on certainty. It depends on choice. He stood up slowly, holding the small paper bag, then looked at her one last time. "Thank you," he said. She nodded, as if she had been waiting to hear that. And then he turned and walked away. Not quickly, not slowly, just naturally. The next evening, he returned. The bench was there, the pond was there, the trees were there, everything felt the same, but she was not there. He stood still for a moment, looking at the empty space, but this time, he did not feel loss. He did not feel confusion, because he remembered what she had said. "One day, I will not be able to come." He took a slow breath, then walked to the bench and sat down, just like before. He looked at the pond, then at the small paper bag in his hands. He opened it, took a piece of bread, and gently threw it into the water. The fish came, the ripples spread, the moment continued. And as the evening light slowly faded, he realized something. She was not gone, not really, because the promise was still alive, in the bench, in the water, in the quiet act of showing up. And now, he was the one sitting on the same bench every evening, not to wait, not to remember, but to keep something alive, something simple, something quiet, something that would not disappear.